my friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Daily Dose of Stupid. This one, I believe, should actually be coming out relatively quickly compared to my previous videos because, oh boy, Deepwoken. Yeah, this game is a lot of fun. I like it a lot, but unfortunately, its community is, well, questionable at times. Very questionable at times. And because of that, they gave me a lot of ammo, which hasn't been happening in recent times. There hasn't been a lot of ammo being given to me, and initially, when it came to the Deepwoken stuff, it felt like there wasn't that much being ammo given, but as the videos became more and more viewed, more and more stupid people left comments, I would get notifications on my phone, and I would be like, what? So that's going to be today. We're going to be taking a look at some of that. The first comment that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be coming from my Layer 2 video, where I talked about the problems of Layer 2. And they say, at 11:32, lore-wise, there is a diver in Floor 1 that asks you to save her by completing the entirety of Layer 2. However, she is being controlled, and that trap there is meant to kill you for attempting to save her. Oh, this is a can of worms. Okay, so first of all, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if lore-wise there's a reason to screw over players, because lore-wise the developers could just make it not that. Like, literally, if you just decided, you know what? Let's remove the NPC. What does that change from the lore? Nothing. You still get attacked by the Kiersguard. There's still artillery. Like, nothing has changed. You've changed nothing but the fact that maybe some people who go through here won't get insta-killed for no reason. That's literally all that would change here. So no lore would be affected by the NPC being removed. And, well, here's the thing. I never ran into the diver on Floor 1 that asked you to complete the entirety of Layer 2 to save them. So, and I still died. So, does it matter that I missed out on whatever lore led up to this moment and then it still killed me? No, because I'm dead. It does not matter what happened, because I'm dead. That's the end all be all. And I shouldn't be dead because that shouldn't have happened. Unbelievable. Now, this is a bit of a comment chain, and it is a mess. So, the first comment is from Desi3299, and they say, last Friday they added a new weapon. It's obtainment coming from an NPC in Layer 2. Talking to this NPC will wipe you if you do not meet the requirements. The requirements are not mentioned or hinted at. Go fucking figure. Archmage, I hope you see this video. My guy, we talked, we spoke, and you said you wanted this to be less of a wiki game. What is that? Why are you guys still doing this? Who is this for? Wiki players? Or is it just a cruel joke? I don't know. I don't know. So I responded and I was like, they never learn. They truly never learn. And someone named Iris Bread was like, who thinks of this shit? Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Unfortunately, the idiots were here in full force as well, with someone saying, it's supposed to be secret, bro. Obviously, there won't be hints. Was there hints about the Deep Angel's Cave? No. So I was having a rough day. You'll probably figure out why that is at some point, hopefully, if that footage ever gets used. But I responded, and I was a bit irritated, and I said, it's not a secret, dumbass. Google exists. Because what kind of secret is it? Oh, it's a secret that you show up and talk to an NPC and they instantly kill you for no reason. And you're like, well, why the fuck did I die? If you don't have Google, you'll never know why the fuck you died because you're just dead. That's great design, isn't it? What a wonderful secret you've got. Better hope you've been paying attention to the Google or the Trello or the Wiki or whatever the hell you've got, because otherwise you talk to somebody, dead. That's fucking awesome. Fireball MK19 sums this up perfectly. It would be a mid-secret by the fact that you get wiped for requirements you don't know unless you Google it. It makes it total dog shit, dude. Just... It's secret. Never mind the fact that I complained about the Angel Cave. I said the Angel Cave was stupid that there's no indicator that it's over there. So, just, I can't with people. I can't with people. People are so dumb. They're so fucking stupid. I can't. It's a secret. Fucking moron. And here we go again. Eclipse. There's a lore reason for why specific Kiersguard aren't hostile. It's because the ones in the city are being controlled by Atheron, influencing their actions. That's why the ones in Furfire Village are friendly, and so is the one outside the city, because they haven't gotten close to the city to be controlled. First of all, I knew this, just for full transparency. I understand most, if not all, of the lore when it comes to Deepwoken. If you ask me a lore question, I probably know the answer, because I thought it was interesting, so I looked most of the stuff up or learned it directly through the game. So I knew that already when I made the video. But again, I already said this, I'll be saying it again, who cares? Who cares if there's a lore reason that explains why the guys outside the city are friendly and the guys inside the city are not? Because you would quickly learn that the people inside the city are not friendly because they would attack you on sight. The problem is that this motherfucker does not do that. He does not attack you on sight. He sits there and will not attack you unless you talk to him. Lore my ass. The lore says that he should just kill you, like everybody else. But he doesn't. The lore says that his ass should do a 180 and murder the guy behind him. Does he do that? No. There's nothing lore about it. If anything, the lore-breaking part is the fact that this asshole sits here and does nothing. And then, when he decides to kill you, him and 3 of his friends just appear out of thin air. Where's the lore on that? Can the Kiersguard fucking teleport? I don't think so. This I just don't understand. And, I mean, I'll explain why when we finish, but this person says the Ignition Deep Drill thing would give more incentive to simply loot and leave without killing the bosses for the loot. So, if that's to be implemented, I would recommend some sort of downside. Like you lose the ability to use the drill again for the next 20 minutes or so, because the drill has to go back down or something. Why? I don't understand this obsession with forcing players to fight the boss. Like, I really, really don't. It just breaks my brain, because the stupid thing about the drill, which in of itself I think is kind of dumb, is that in order to even get to the drill, you need to clear the whole dungeon. Like, let's just be perfectly honest with ourselves. Once you've gotten past the nest corridor, it's over. The only thing left is Chaser, because any other enemies there you can just run past. So, literally, you have to clear and fight every single enemy that's a roadblock up until this point. You don't have a choice. And then you get here, and if you leave, then you lose all of your items, because people or the developers want to force you to fight the boss. But the thing that's so confusing to me, and the thing that I said in my own video, is that the loot from basically everything except for the boss is almost always mediocre at best. You barely ever get anything worthwhile. I mean, even going through the Galewax Shrine and farming enchant stones, it's random, so your odds of getting an enchant that you're looking for is not very high. So I just don't understand what is the thought process behind, let's make it so people who have a hard time with Chaser or don't have faith in themselves to beat Chaser, let's force them to fight the boss if they want to get the mid-tier loot that's currently in the Gale. And that's just it, is this would make more sense if the loot was better, which is one of the things that I talked about. I wish the loot was better on a general sense. But as it stands right now, this doesn't make any sense, because the loot sucks. The good loot is already behind Chaser, and you can't get the Chaser loot without defeating Chaser. So, if you use the drill, you don't get to keep shitty loot. So bad players can't go in here, get shitty loot, and leave. That's not an option. They just lose everything because, well, reasons. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It just straight up doesn't make any sense. This next one is a comment that I got a lot of, and I think a lot of people just don't understand what I was going for, I guess, so I'll explain it. But they said at 2022 of my video, at the end of the day, the goal for entering Layer 2 is to get loot/XP and to get out. So, if in the case that they do make Layer 2 more exploration-based and methodical, people would still just blaze through the entire thing to get the loot as fast as possible instead of slowing down. That's just what I think, though. And like I said, I don't think this is meant in malice. I think you just missed the point of the video. I don't think that people should be prevented from doing what they're already doing right now, but I think the reason that a ton of people are just speedrunning is because the pros and cons to speedrunning versus not speedrunning are basically non-existent. If you don't speedrun, you run several risks. The light hook is going to run out, so if you take too long on Chaser, and Chaser's a pretty difficult boss, you die there, you wipe, so people don't want to deal with that. The actual loot that you get from floor 1 in of itself is kind of shit, so there's not a huge reason to go out of your way to hunt down enemies that spawn chests. And, like I said, at the end of the day, the best loot is in the boss chests, so it makes more sense to just gun it straight there. And you'd still be able to do that. With all of the things that I suggested, I just suggested making it so if you do take your time and you do decide to be more methodical, there's more to do, there's more interesting loot and things to find, and it's just, in general, can be encouraged to play the game rather than just running past everything. If you want to run past everything, cool, that's fine, you can still do that. I just think that the game would be healthier if you had the option and it was, like, better to not just run past everything. Because right now it's just objectively better to run past everything, and that's kind of stupid. Speaking of loot, this is just how uninformed do you get. Hey Eclipse, just wanted to say regarding the loot section that most people when making PvE build do not look at the talents. I saw how you brought up the Immortal Helm, and indeed is very good, but with a PvE build, people mainly focus on the actual stats and not the given talent. Although you may be correct that the loot between layers is not good, there are still very good items when it comes to how you dress in Deepwoken, which is a whole other area of fun for people to dress up and cosplay. You missed the whole point. You missed the entire point. In fact, take a look at this. I should be scrolling through now. Do you notice a trend with these gear pieces? The trend with those gear pieces is that there's not a single one. Not one that is exclusive to Layer 2. There are 0. Every single piece of equipment that you can find in Layer 2, you can find elsewhere. So, when you say people like to play dress up, okay, well you can have vanity items and like yada yada yada, right? You could do that just anywhere else. You don't need to do that in Layer 2. Are there still good items with good stat rolls? Of course. But the point is that none of it is Layer 2 specific. And in regards to people that are using PvE builds don't look at the talents, well, yeah, because most of the talents are not unique and are just tied to talents you can already get. There are very few which don't do that, the Immortal Helm being one of them, which is exactly why in my video I said that I wish that there were more unique talents on Layer 2 gear, because that would make it more interesting. It's like you're arguing with someone completely different than me. I don't, how did you even come to this conclusion? I don't get it. This one right here is, well, they all hurt my brain, let's be honest. Oh, a correction there. If you die and return to Castle Light with a light hook, you don't have to wait 10 minutes in game. You can just exist the game, sorry. You can just exist the game, go do something in the meantime, like a short jog, and then come back and your 20-minute light hook should be recharged. It feels like a troll, but I don't actually know if it's a troll. Are you listening to yourself, brother? You should just turn off the game and come back later. Does that sound like good design to you? Is that maybe not? No, just turn off the game and go do something else. Hang on a minute. Is this a Souls RNG player? The Voidwalker video also got a whole bunch of crap on it, which I'm not entirely surprised by. And I didn't pull too many from there because I knew the video was already gonna run pretty long, but I did pull a few. And we're gonna start with this one, which is just... Tell me you didn't watch the video without telling me you didn't watch the video. How does Voidwalker suck? You get crazy monster armor, a busted sword, plus the Knife of Ellis spare you, which they are annoying, and having rep with Knife of Ellis is good enough TBH. That's more of a skill issue on you of your complaining a bit Knife of Ellis, as I can be part of them, and personal I like Knife of Ellis. But I can agree that it doesn't give crazy buffs. An AI wrote this. An AI wrote this, we're moving on. Tell me that you don't play Voidwalker without telling me you don't play Voidwalker. No high level would go through the effort to get his ass off the bounty board. And pro player, oh, I'm sorry, this was a run-on. I'll try again. No high level would go through the effort to get his ass off the bounty board, and pro player would probably just fight the Voidwalkers. There we go. Much better. Again, this guy does not use Voidwalker. There's just no way. In fact, just for you, buddy, let's go play some Deepwoken. Alrighty, so we're gonna log in. And what's the highest capacity server for a region near me? 16 players. All right, that's pretty reasonable. Let's jump in here. Okay, Entry and Wilds. Use my Void Eye. All right, in the Void Heart, let's check the bounty board. Huh. That's weird. I could have swore there were 16 players in this server, but it only looks like one max level player is on the bounty board. I could have swore that no high level would go through the immense effort to do like 5 Knives of Ellis ship events to never get harassed by Voidwalkers again. I could have swore that nobody would do that. Oh well. And really, in regards to the Voidwalker stuff, I just don't understand how people can be so tone deaf to the player bases of games and like how much they care about their own player base. Because so many of these Deepwoken players just have no regard for anyone other than themselves. And I've said that before, and I'm sure I'll continue saying it, because until they prove me wrong, which they won't, this will just keep happening. And I just wanted to pull 2 comments, which literally are one after the other. 2 people left these comments right next to each other. And I just want to try to show this to people who are saying the stupid shit that they are about Voidwalkers and saying that the game is too easy and, you know, all of their stupid nonsense and how Voidwalkers are supposed to be punishing and blah, 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 blah. Just, these are real people. These are people who are playing the game, right? I'll pull it up. The first one says, got sent to the depths by a Voidwalker. Got out of the depths at power 14. Died to an NPC. Respawned and then got Voidwalked again and sent to the depths not even 10 minutes after getting out. I hate how Voidwalkers have to kill you. It makes no sense. That comment was followed by, yeah, I'm new, and I've not made it past power 15 because I keep getting wiped by Voidwalkers with better gear and more experience. These 2 people are real players. They're real human beings. They're trying to enjoy the game just like you are. Do you think that they deserve to never get to endgame because they don't understand the mechanics behind Voidwalkers and the best ways to avoid them, and so they keep getting their ass kicked? Because I can say, as a semi-experienced player now, that I don't deal with Voidwalkers anymore, because I know how to avoid them. And it's almost an unconscious thing. If I'm playing and I don't want to deal with a Voidwalker, since I've played Voidwalker, I know exactly how all the mechanics work. I can just avoid them. If I'm out at sea, Voidwalkers won't get me. Like, they just won't, plain and simple. So if I want to farm some XP without getting ganked by a Voidwalker, I'll just do a bunch of events at sea. Bada boom, bada bam. Never have to deal with Voidwalkers. I can get levels. I can fight NPCs. But that's one of those things that people that haven't used Voidwalker, people that are new, they don't know that. So they're just going to go to Lower Aricia. They're going to be the only people on the bounty boards, and they're going to get ganked by Voidwalkers and die. I can go to the Trial of 1, finish the Trial of 1, leave, sail literally straight to Songseeker, hit the Shrine of Order, sail straight to Ferryman, fight him, I don't know, 8, 9 times, whatever it is, get to max power, and have never seen a Voidwalker. And I can do all of that in like 2.5, 3 hours, right? Are the new players doing that? No. Are you doing that? Probably. You starting to see the problem here? No, you're not, because you're clueless. If you understand the mechanics, Voidwalkers are fine. If you don't understand the mechanics, Voidwalkers are the most annoying, unfair thing on the planet. That is terrible design. Horrible design. Unforgivable design. And something should be done about it. That's what I'm saying. As someone who has played Voidwalker for a good amount of time now, and as someone who has been harassed by Voidwalkers, and as someone who literally never deals with them anymore, it's a problem. Plain and simple. Anyways, that's wrapping up all the negative stuff. That dragged on for a long time. I want to hit some positives and then get out of here. We're going to be starting with a comment from Gura3428. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. They say, I think many games can learn from the foundation of Deepwoken. Not the permadeath, but how the world feels lived in itself. Many games feel dry with the places, looking at you, Type Soul, YBA, AUT, Blocks Fruits, GPO. Sometimes the feel of the game is much more important than the gameplay. I don't know how you all feel about it, but I like when the game has a story, tales of others who walk the same path, making you feel like just another part of a larger world you live in, unlike sort of the chosen hero. Well, this is my little rant. I wish that more games had aesthetic worlds as immersive as Deep's visually and gameplay wise. The game is not perfect, but with polish and fresh ideas, it sure as hell can be. And I couldn't agree more with this, and this is one of the things that I feel like I don't say enough. A lot of the worlds that I play in, and I always make a point to mention this, but they feel empty and devoid of life. And that's one of the things that Deepwoken does not suffer from, and I think it's much better for it. When you're going through, there are people that you can talk to. They feel like they have their own lives. The lore in the game has you understand why things are happening, if you understand, or you've talked to enough people to understand it. And it's just, the guy said it best. The world feels lived in. It doesn't necessarily feel like you are the center of the world, if that makes sense. And that makes it feel more fun rather than less fun. From the Primadon video, the guy who put the sticks method in the wiki is the true main antagonist. Some people just want to watch the world burn. And I put this on here not only because it's a funny comment, but also because, just out of curiosity, I went back to the Primadon wiki page. And we did it, boys. The sticks are gone. Let's go. You know somebody saw my video, went straight to that page and went, gone. So good. We did it. Positive change in the world, my friends. No one's gonna fall for the stickaroos ever again. Crimson Kaido here was talking about the Chime of Conflict, which I really should have talked about more in my Voidwalker video, because that shit is so dumb. But they said, your solution to Voidwalker I don't agree with, but I get your point. But I'm 1000% with you on Chime Skull. Most useless, outdated, monkey caveman brain idea ever. I couldn't have summed that up better. And logically, it makes no sense to have Chime Skulls in the game. For one, like you said, makes the barrier to entry for PvP super high. A PvP game mode for mindless PvP without punishment exists, Battle Royale, and not a single person in high chimes gets affected by skulls because when they drop to one skull, they ask the other chime player to dodge, which lets them leave without elo loss while giving the other person a skull back. So the Chime Skull system's sole purpose is to fuck over new players. I'd say to make everyone happy, just make a casual Chime mode where there's no elo or skulls. Yeah, you don't say. The Skulls system is horrifically bad, and it is perfectly showcased by the thing that he just said. All of these high-level Chime players, according to everyone in the comments section, just tell the other person to dodge the match if they get down to one skull, so that way they can all keep playing. Because they just want to play the 1v1s mode. So they end up playing all day anyway. It doesn't hurt them in the slightest. So it only serves to screw over people who aren't doing that. In other words, the people who are lower on the elo ratings and the people who are trying to learn. Why are the people who are trying to learn getting fucked? I don't know. Chime Skulls is... I'm gonna say this. This is a hot take. The Chime Skulls is the worst game mechanic in a video game I have ever seen. The worst. I've played a lot of games. I've played with a lot of game mechanics. Chime Skulls are the worst. Guys, are you out of your mind? Firanos was talking about how people were genuinely mad when the tutorial was added. Game is honestly being held back by the community a lot at this point. And the thing is, I can't tell how many of these people are, like, you know, directly the minority versus the majority. I really can't. It's always hard to tell with this stuff, because there's a lot of games where the vocal minority is the loudest one, and they don't represent the player base, right? And the thing is, I feel like that's the case here again, and the reason that I feel like that's the case here is because for a video that may never release at this point, so I can just kind of say it, I played a metric shitload of Voidwalker. I did a whole lot of PvP, and what I can tell you from doing PvP is, number one, that I am hot ass at it. Number two, good Lord Jesus, if you're trying to learn PvP, don't start with a light weapon. And number three, most of the people playing this game are not even remotely close to a min-maxing meta sweat. Just not even close. And you just need to experience the game to know this. If you run into random people out and about, the vast majority of them are either learning the ropes or just mediocre at best. So there's no way they're these min-maxing Shrine of Order using super hyper mega sweats. They're just not. So there's a lot of me that thinks that the vocal minority is very loud when it comes to these anti-new player friendly stuff. I could be completely wrong, but at least from my own anecdotal experience and from the people I see in the game, it's a pretty small minority of people that actually fall under this sort of umbrella. But anyways, that's the final little good message we had on here, so we're going to be wrapping up today's video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. If you didn't, don't. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys next time.